John, over here. Hey.
Charlie. Charlie. Charlie, look at Mommy.
For the first time at the age of 4, he told me, "Mommy, I love you." And he touched my cheek, and it was the best moment. And I never thought I'd ever have that moment or that interaction with him. And it was so real. And I knew from that moment that this was going to give us our son that we always wished for.
Before he was diagnosed with the autism, he was very unaware of anyone around him, very lethargic.
He would look at things at different angles, tilt his head, get down on the floor, but we didn't know that was part of autism. I thought he was having a problem seeing.
Roger was expelled from nursery school. He wasn't able to go to a playground. He couldn't play with other children. Yeah, right. You couldn't walk on grass. You couldn't walk on snow. You couldn't go on sand. You couldn't go in the water.
He would spin things. He would repeat, words that he would actually say. He would repeat constantly. He would fixate on things, and he wasn't really speaking.
It was very blank, almost like, to be very blunt, talking to a wall. There was nothing, no back and forth, no feedback, no anything.
Probably the best way to describe it was kind of like in a vegetable state, just non-responsive to anybody around him.
He would not be able to look at you. He would not interact. He would sit in front of a window like he was in a fog.
She's got the dark circles under her eyes. I've always said her face is like a mood ring. One day it's, in the morning it looks like it's lit from underneath, and by noon she looks like she's gone 10 rounds with Tyson,
Very to himself. He, you talk to him, he was not listening. But, all of a sudden he started to come out of his pattern. And I asked my daughter Melanie, I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Well, we went to this different doctor and he's doing different things and stuff like that." And today, he comes, as my wife said, he comes up the driveway, he goes, "Papa, do you know it's 73 degrees out and the weather's coming in from the west?"
I discovered NAET 27 years ago. And before I discovered NAET, I suffered from numerous health problems. Through NAET, I got over my problems, fortunately.
Well, my mother is Dr. Devi. She's the developer of the technique, and I grew up with NAET. I know the effects of NAET firsthand because I used to have a lot of allergies myself.
NAET is a short form for Nambudripad's allergy elimination technique.
NAET's underlying principles involve the energy of the body, the meridians of the body. There are 12 meridians specifically, and how they get affected when you come into contact with things that are pathogens or things that might be affecting your body in an altered way. And what we do with NAET specifically is we treat acupuncture points through either acupressure or acupuncture to desensitize the body, energetically speaking, for the electromagnetic fields of different substances. And what that does is allows the body to go back into contact with those substances and not have the same type of reaction.
What it does is try to find what is the interference between a person's energy to any energies from the surroundings.
Energy circulation in the body, that's a big concept that's involved in traditional Chinese medicine. And NAET involves manipulating that energy for the benefit of the patient. And the theory essentially is that when a patient comes into contact with a substance, be it a food or a drink or a clothing item, etc., that has an energy disturbance with the patient's own energy field, that can affect the patient negatively.
For example, if you take an autistic child and when they eat certain things, their stomach meridians go imbalance, their spleen meridian goes imbalance, or liver meridian goes imbalance, and that is going to show a lot of disturbances in the body. They cannot focus, they cannot digest food, and they cannot interact with people, and they cannot sleep.
There has been a recent article from the University of Medicine in New Jersey linking autism with allergies, with food allergies specifically, and IgG-related or mediated allergies as well. And there's a lot more research coming out showing that autism and allergies have a strong connection. And I think in the future we'll see that even more.
I remember when I was seeing my patients and this little girl who had been autistic and not able to say a word suddenly came into my office saying, "Hey, where's Dr. Teitelbaum? Running around, how are you doing today?" and chatting away. I had not heard this autistic little girl string 3 words together before. And I asked, what happened? Well, what happened is she had gone for a special allergy desensitization technique called NAET and had been treated for that allergy that week. In this case, it was simply purines, which was unexpected. And her autism basically went away. Now, as a physician, this shocked me, but it also told me, oh my God, there's something we can look at. I explored this further and found that this was not the exception, but rather the rule, that autism responded very well to a series of treatments over 1 year, which eliminated allergies with a simple acupressure technique.
Autism is a disease in which conventional medicine offers little hope. There are some pharmaceutical trials that are going on, but they are not really promising. And with all of the data and research that's going on right now, most parents are really worried about their children when they're diagnosed with autism. And in such a case, I think it's really valuable to try to take a look at NAT and see if it would help them, because any hope is great.
It defies what we know as what's supposed to be medical, but it works.
We don't normally do out-of-the-box therapies or things with, Dylan. We do the typical speech therapy, OT, PT, and we decided after seeing it was non-invasive and we really would have nothing to lose, we decided to give it a try. And we made an appointment, came on in, and my husband actually came because he was very curious himself, and we had our evaluation, I guess you would call it, with Dr. Yee, and she explained everything, and she used both of us as a surrogate to show us both how it worked, and we figured, let's give it a go, and we've been coming for it'll be 2 years in May.
She's been sleeping better. Every time she has a visit with Dr. Yee, she sleeps through the night.
The autistic children are the ones who inspire me the most. Those are the cases that I have seen the greatest transformation from a child who had no abilities, no speech, no eye contact, no play skills, completely in a bubble in their own world, and they have come out and emerged through these NAET treatments.
Just an overall, just happiness and more at peace, I think, Plus her complexion looks a lot better.
I've been a chiropractor for 20 years. I don't practice chiropractic anymore. I only practice NAET. And I work mostly with autistic children. They certainly have my heart. When you start treating children with autism and you start seeing the miracles, and within a small amount of time you see kids that are nonverbal, non-communicative start talking or putting sentences together, and you just see the changes.
He actually responded to it very quickly. We came all summer, frequently. We came 3 times a week. I saw a change in him after about a half a dozen treatments at home.
Within 2 weeks, we started to see results. That, having gone through multiple therapies and trying a lot of different approaches, as a parent, you want to try to find something. You're searching for something that might work, and you're actually looking for it, saying, oh, maybe this worked, maybe that worked. But it didn't. We tried things for a little bit of time, and you'd realize that it wasn't working. NAET, within 2 weeks, we saw an immediate result. And we said we have to keep going. We have to keep going, keep trying. Month after month, we saw results.
It really does have an effect, and again, it's something that's out there that I was skeptical about, but it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
During the process of NAET, a patient holds a homeopathic vial in their hand. We also treat patients holding real samples occasionally as well. The thought is that when they hold that item in their hand, the energy of the body is disturbed at that time by the substance, and we can muscle test for that disturbance. And if appropriate, we would treat using acupressure techniques. And once the acupressure is performed, or acupuncture is performed, we essentially desensitize the body towards that allergen. And there's a process where they have to avoid the item for 25 hours after the treatment. And once they go back to exposing themselves to that item after the 25 hours, in the majority of cases, patients feel benefit.
Non-invasive, no needles. We recommend people go twice a week. It's a 20-minute treatment. It's very simple, non-invasive, and we recommend the treatments be for a year.
According to Oriental medicine, when your body is in a perfect balance, you do not get any disease, and you do not get any allergies, and you don't have any imbalances. You'll be happy, you can eat anything you want, you can enjoy, you can do all daily activities with the full health and enjoy every moment of your life. When that doesn't happen, there is something going on. Maybe something you are eating that is not agreeing with you, or something you are touching, or the clothes or jewelry, something is not okay with you. And if you know if that is a problem, you avoid it and you will get back to your normal self. So this is what we do with the NAET. We try to find what is causing the imbalances in your body, and we try to correct that so that your body doesn't have to go through this undue stress, and body can continue to do the normal function that's supposed to do it.
With children under 10, we also don't even give acupuncture. We have them hold the vial after the treatment for 20 minutes, and we can put the vial in their socks, and they can play around. They don't have to get acupuncture or any kind of invasive treatments. So it really isn't a big shock to the kids when they come to our clinic and we treat them. It's pretty easy in terms of the actual process. Of course, the treatment involves muscle testing, kinesiology, acupuncture, homeopathy, various different techniques. And for a person who is unaware of NAET, it might be kind of shocking as to how this comes about, and how unbelievable the results and the process is.
The Teitelbaum Family Foundation funded a study by the NARF, which is the NAET Research Foundation, treating autistic kids with the NAET.
A prospective controlled study.
And we had about many children sign up, but we selected 60 children.
Randomized them, basically picked names out of a hat to see which went in which group.
It was recently published in the journal Integrative Medicine.
The main concern we wanted the children to be allergy-related autism.
The study was broken up into 2 arms. Each arm had 30 patients. And one arm is the experimental group, which was treated with NAET. And the other group was not treated with NAET, and they're the control group.
50 allergens were treated on these children, and for 100 treatments.
We followed all these kids for about a year.
Before we started the study, we took pictures of everybody, controls and experimental, everybody, how they were on the very first day. And then every 15 treatments, we took the pictures again. Out of 26, 23 became completely normal and went back to regular schools.
100%, all of the kids in the control group stayed in special education.
30 children in the group. After 1 year of the time, we called them back, we tested them, and they were same. They did not make any progress at all from the time we checked them a year ago.
Of course, the foundation went ahead and then funded treatment for those 30 children as well.
So we called everybody back, and we treated all those children, and they all are also now doing good.
This study, interestingly, also monitored the allergy symptoms of the kids. and we saw a reduction, a significant reduction statistically speaking, with the allergy symptoms amongst the autism group that was treated with NAET, in comparison or in contrast with the control group. The children in the control group, their allergies were not reduced significantly. So I think that's a very significant portion of the study as well that people need to look at carefully. I have treated autistic kids myself, and I can think of one especially who was about 2.5 years of age, who came to us and was not speaking a single word. And we treated him for about 4 or 5 sessions. And I think around the 5th session, he started saying hello and actually started calling us by name, which was pretty significant, I thought. I do know from interaction with other kids that my mother has treated that when I come into contact with them now at their older age, they seem completely normal. And there's no real sign of any autistic traits, and most people would actually probably even doubt that they were ever diagnosed properly with autism, but I know that they were because we have all the records. But I think that goes to show the power of the technique and how amazing it is that a lot of children are just getting better with this.
When he was in preschool, they had speech therapists come in, and he was never allowed to have speech because he didn't have enough sounds coming out of his mouth. Like the class would be over here doing this, and I mean it's like he couldn't even see the other people in the classroom. It was just he was in this fog. You know, they always told us like that he was never going to be able to do anything, but through the treatments, all of those things, all those bricks, all those things just came down. If you knew him before and you knew him today, he's a totally different kid. This program will help and it will change the life of your kid, for sure. Caleb is a perfect example of that. I have his progress reports from kindergarten and 1st grade when they said he could never do anything. Now he's in 5th grade. He's at grade level and everything. He can interact with all the other students. He has an imagination that is just incredible. Do you like to be treated?
Yes, I would like to be treated a lot because, like...
Do you wish you could have treatments every day?
No.
Wouldn't that be great?
No.
The best thing about this program is they're able to make it special for each kid so that they can work with your child with exactly what's going on with them. You know, we were able to say the smallest thing. You know, we realized that the orange juice was a real problem with Caleb. So we were able to talk about the orange juice, and then Caleb was able to have treatments for that, and then the allergy is totally cleared, and then kind of that block is gone then.
I happen to have 2 grown-up autistic children. I treated them, and they were 20 years old and 24 years old. And when I treated them, and after a few treatments, they were able to talk, they were able to communicate, and they were able to converse, and they were able to recognize the normal things. So I asked them, why did you not talk to anybody when you come in initially? You are sitting in the corner, and the mother or father has to hold them like on a leash, walk around. Why were you doing that? Then they said they did not know what to do. They had a white film in front of their eyes, so they could not see anything in front. Everything like a white screen. Okay, so they don't even know where they're going, so somebody has to lead them. And then they could not hear anything. Even someone says something, they can just some kind of mumble jumble sound. They could not differentiate anything what they were saying. And once in a while, they used to go to school, right? So once in a while, they feel clear, so they can hear what's happening and they can see what's happening. So they can see all the different colors, etc. So, but then 90% of the time, nothing went through their brain. Everything was just dull, or like if you are underwater. Under a swimming pool, if somebody from top, if they scream, you don't hear anything. Maybe sometimes you hear some kind of sound. That's the way they felt. Then I asked them, okay, then why do you flap your hands all the time, you know, they will do this, right? So why was that? You know, what did you do? Why did you do that? And what were you getting from that? So they were saying they felt some kind of pain or some kind of dull ache on their arms. So when they keep doing like this, they feel that something is moving. So then they feel better. They don't have that ache. So that's the reason they were doing that. Same with the hair pulling, because something is restricting. So when you do these funny movements, that restricted energy flow starts flowing and they feel better.
Being in their own world, completely autistic, and now they are in our world, recovered, mainstreamed, with no symptoms of autism.
It's working. I mean, this is a different child. This is definitely a different child. And these treatments, whatever they are, putting something in his sock, I don't know what that thing is that goes in the sock, but whatever goes in his sock actually works. I mean, a Lucky Charm, whatever it is, these treatments are working.
I've seen children come in here that haven't talked, that start talking. I've seen children come in here that spin, stare off into space, and that the next time they come in, I see them, they'll sit down, they'll make eye contact. They're just more focused and calmer.
My husband was hiding, and he said, "Where are you hiding, Daddy?" Just like that. No speech therapy. We didn't even have the speech therapy because after that he spoke. So we know it was the NAET that did that. Yeah, it was amazing. It was. I said to my husband, "Did you hear that?" He's like, "Yeah." I mean, we never heard him speak a sentence before.
We came to Dr. Yee in August, and we haven't been the same since. John has improved and gotten better every single week, and we've seen phenomenal things from him, and we are very grateful. Right?
Yes, right. Right, Mommy.
I love you.
I love you too.
Our life before NAET was filled with doctor visits and feeding hospitals and blood work and neurologists. It was just going from one appointment to the next appointment, and it was just doctors and medicines and testing. And now it's filled with school functions and school dances. He goes to the Halloween dance at school, and he wants to play on the tennis team this spring, and it's filled with birthday parties and running out in the summer for the ice cream truck. It's so different now, and we never thought that that's what our life was going to be like.
So the parents are getting their life back, their family back, the way it should be.
For me, I was much more relaxed. He was calm, he was more focused, he was doing better in school.
I probably wouldn't even be sitting here if I was 5. When I was 5, I was crazy. Running around all the time. Reading a book like this, I wouldn't be doing that. I would be running around the whole room 3 times.
I receive so many comments about the change in Angelina almost every day. We hear all the time, "Oh my goodness, she's so much more focused. She looks at me when I talk to her. She's speaking fabulously." Everybody just continually comments on how she's almost a different child from about a year ago.
She really doesn't have very many, if any, issues, and she's developing tremendously. She was building a stuffed bear the other day, and the lady in the store was commenting on how smart she was. She's not even 2 years old yet, and she's doing things that this lady said, 3-year-old kids wouldn't do. So, she's smart, she's fearless, and, I think that we have NAET to thank for all of that.
I invite you to go to NAET.com for information on NAET and to find one of over 10,000 NAET practitioners worldwide near you. It's time for your children and your family to get their lives back.